What's up? So you guys are probably wondering or thinking, Sam, why are you wearing a sweatshirt that says Sky Zone on it? Well, if you guys haven't read the title already, this video is going to be about my crazy, weird experiences while working at my different jobs, part 1. So if you guys haven't so already, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, and don't forget to hit that notification button at the top to remind you of when my next video comes out. Okay, let's get into the video. So as you guys know, I'm in university, and which means I'm an adult, which means I have had jobs before. So I've had a whole bunch of different part-time jobs. Let's just say my friends like to call me that one girl from Austin Alley who always had like a new part-time job like every single day. Yeah, that was basically me. So during the time where I was actually allowed to get jobs, I've had 4 jobs in the past 2 years. So I thought wearing my Sky Zone sweater would be a very good fit for today's video, since I'll be talking about 2 different places today. I'll be talking about working at Sky Zone and then working at a banquet hall. So sit back, relax, get some food, because this is going to be one hell of an interesting video for you guys. So for this video, I don't want to make it too long for you guys, and I'll probably talk about my top 2 or 3 memories at Sky Zone and at my banquet hall place for you guys. So to start off, I'll start off with Sky Zone since I'm wearing that sweater. And yes, I had to pay for this. I had to pay an extra $20-something for this. Really sucked, but it's so worth it because it's so warm. Anyway, number 3. My top 3 weirdest, craziest interaction, whatever you want to call it. If you guys don't know what Sky Zone is, basically Sky Zone is a trampoline amusement park where you can do a whole bunch of different things there with trampolines. You can do trampoline dodgeball, kind of like a Ninja Warrior court thing with trampolines. You can do basketball or just free range trampolining, whatever you want. And so there are a whole bunch of different jobs that I could do there, and at this time I was a greeter. So basically the greeter is before anyone goes into the amusement park to do whatever, they have to get a stamp and hear the rules by me. I was one of those people that basically just told everyone the rules before they can go in. And they also had to get a stamp saying that they heard my rules. And so with this stamp, it just said Sky Zone on it. It's just a little ink thing people can put on their hands, their stickers, wherever they wanted. So this group of teenage boys came up to me. They were kind of looking at me like I was a prey or something. I was like, I'm not having this today. So I just kind of told them the rules. I was being my friendly, bubbly self like usual, as you guys know. And I was telling them the rules. I finished and I was like, do you guys have any other questions? Stuff like that. They were like, no. I'm like, okay, before you guys go, I need a stamp. So I think there's 3 or 4 of the guys there. So I was stamping their hands. And then this one of the guys, the last guy comes up to me. He's like, I've always wanted a tattoo. Can you tattoo it on my neck? And I was like, what? Pardon me? And I'm like, what? In my head, I'm thinking what the flippin' hell? Why do you want that on your neck? And I'm like, why do you want it on your neck? He's like, oh, because I think it'd look cool. I'm like, I don't know if I'm allowed to put that there. If you want, I can just stick it on your hand or your sticker. He's like, okay, you can put it on my sticker. And so I think it was on his chest or something. So he puffed out his chest, and I'm like, okay. And I stamp it on his chest, and he's like, yeah. And then runs off into the corner, and I was like, okay. That's totally normal. I was not expecting for someone to ask me if I can stamp their neck. Okay. Number 2. So this one, I was also at the rules or the greeter person. So as a greeter, you kind of stay in this one section near the stairs, which basically stops people from going up because you have to tell them the rules and stuff. So when I'm doing the rules and greeters person, it's quite a boring job because if there's no one coming in at that time, I can just kind of sit there and stand there doing nothing. But most of the time, I'm usually just playing with the stamp, stamping it on my hand because I'm bored as hell. So I just started working at Sky Zone. This is probably my second duty I was able to do at Sky Zone at the time. I was either a court monitor, which is a person who's basically a lifeguard for the trampoline so kids don't hurt themselves, or they're making sure that they're going one at a time and stuff. Or I was greeter/rule person. And so I'm sitting there, I'm minding my own business, and there's a guy who is at the warp wall. So the warp wall is basically if any of you guys have seen the American Ninja Warrior challenge thing, where they have that really big big wall that's like curved like this, and you basically have to like, you start here and you have to run up and get to the top of the wall. Yeah, so we have like 3 different versions of that, where it was like a small, medium, and then like tall, like a really, really tall or large one. One of the other court monitors is just chilling over there, being himself, and makes eye contact with me. I give him like a hi. Don't know him, so I'm just like, little smile, and go back to doing my stamping on my hand. And he decides to come over, walks over to me in a really like interesting way. He kind of gives me like this weird gaze. I don't know what it was. He was just kind of like, I'm gonna come over and I'm gonna say hi to you. So he walks over to me and he puts his hand out like this. And I'm like, oh, okay. So then I kind of stick my hand out like, okay, I'm gonna come for a handshake. So I stick out my hand and he goes, like he's shaking it like really aggressively. He looks at me. He gives my hand like a little squeeze. He lets go and walks away. And in my head, I'm just very confused, like, what on earth just happened? I swear I get all these weird, crazy interactions with people when I'm doing like rule speech and stuff. But since then, we became like decently good friends. Even though it's a weird interaction, we became good friends, so yeah. Okay, number 1. This experience was absolutely crazy. It was bonkers. I was freaking scared out of my life for this. Okay, so what was I doing again? I was doing rule speech and greeter again. Love that for myself. I guess it was like, what is it, a Saturday or a Sunday or something. It was really, really busy. It might have been during like the holiday season, like maybe like last year during this time. And it was like super, super busy. And at Sky Zone, there are little cubbies or lockers that you can put your stuff in. The lockers you have to pay for, like by putting in like $1 or $2, and it comes with a key. Or you can put like these little cubbies in where you can put like your boots and coats that's like open for whatever. So I'm here doing the rule speech, and I look to my left. I see this black lady. She's with her kid, and she's putting her boots into a little cubby hole. I'm like, okay, whatever. I just happened to like notice it. I'm like, okay, because I'm bored. I always like to observe stuff around me because I was really, really bored. But then this old white guy comes in and starts putting stuff in the same cubby hole, and I'm like, maybe they're together? Question mark? Not fully sure. Then the guy leaves. The lady comes back. The black lady comes back, puts the rest of her stuff in, and takes out the guy's stuff. So I'm like, oh, I guess they're not together then. So I was like, okay. Then that white guy comes back and starts yelling at the black lady by saying, oh, what the hell? Why are you taking my stuff out? Why are you touching my things? Did I tell you can touch my things? I don't even know who the hell you are and stuff like that. Like, it started getting a little bit heated, and the woman was like, I'm sorry, but I came here first. She was being super respectful. She was being nice to him, and the old man was just kind of like yelling at her and even saying really grotesque, really rude things towards the lady. And I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I don't know what to do. I have not been trained for that. I am not mentally prepared to know what's going to happen, how I should stop this. And I'm kind of watching from the sides, like making sure that nothing doesn't get like too out of hand. And I was also hoping that maybe someone from cash could help, because this like little argument was happening in between where the cash and where I was. So it was like right in between us, and I'm here standing around like, uh-oh, what do I do? So I just kind of wait to see what was happening. Then it got really out of control, and I was like, okay, I need to go in and step in, because the man was saying really rude and racial things to this poor lady. And I was like, oh my gosh, okay. I'm like, I have to stay calm. I have to be neutral zone. It was stressful. So I walk over and I'm telling them, excuse me, what seems to be the problem here? And this one guy the one guy was like, this lady stole my cubby, okay? I put my stuff in here first, and she just stole it and took it away from me, and then she was being really rude to me. I'm over here like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, sir, but I happened to see what happened, and I think the lady got there first before you. And then he was like, no, you didn't see that. I got there first. I put my stuff in, and then she took it out. She was being such a child. She was being such a baby. And I was like, are you sure? Like, in my head, I was like, are you sure she's the one that's being the baby? The lady walks away, and the guy's like, serves you right. And then, like, calls out a really rude racial word, which I don't want to say. And I was just like, oh, damn. Oh, flippin' damn. That was not what I was expecting. The guy puts his stuff back puts his stuff back into the little cubby hole. The woman takes hers out and then leaves it on like these little seats where the cubby holes are. And I go up to the lady and I'm like, I'm so very sorry that happened. I am actually 100% on your side. I saw you put your stuff into the cubby hole first. And she's like, it's okay. I know you couldn't do much about that. And I promise you I wasn't being rude to him. And I'm like, oh, 100%. I know you weren't being rude. I heard you. And I was like, he should have not been saying those things to you. She's like, yeah, I felt very hurt by those words. So we talked it out a bit. I was just kind of telling her like, I'm sorry I couldn't do much to help her and stuff. But she was the nicest lady ever. I was like, oh, thank God both of them were not crazy ass people, or I probably just would have quit right then and there. Then I go back to my position near the stairs again. I'm saying a few more rule speeches to people, and I see the guy comes back, talks to the lady by saying, oh, you act like such a child when you did that. I can't believe you went up and sucked up to that worker person. Can't believe you did that. And I'm just over here like, because that old man was being very, very loud. And I'm here like, she did not suck up to me. I went up to her because she was right and you were not. But of course I did not do that because I can't do that. But yeah, let's just say that day stressed me out so much, low-key traumatized me a bit, not knowing what I could expect next at Sky Zone. And yeah, it was a very interesting time there. But yeah, so that was my top 3 weird interesting, scary experiences at Sky Zone. So now for my banquet stories. Okay, so for my weird interactions, weird experiences at my banquet hall job. So it was just any old regular banquet hall. You do whatever. Wore a tie, apron, had a little notebook with me, carrying trays, doing all that jazz. I didn't work very long there because I couldn't really handle it. I could start work at like 4 and they'd make me stay until 2 in the morning. And I was like, I need my beauty sleep. I am the she-devil if I do not get enough sleep. So I quit after a month and a half. But I mean, like, I worked multiple shifts in that time. Like, I probably worked over like 10 shifts. And this was during like, This was during like also exam time as well. Around like May, June-ish area. And, oh geez, that was something else. But yeah, here are my top 3 weird interaction experiences at work. Okay, number 3. So, I guess this was like a wedding of some sort, and I was doing my rounds of cleaning up the champagne glasses and plates from dinner. So they just finished eating and stuff like that, and I guess most people went over to the dance floor to go party and shake that booty. Because, it's a wedding and why not? I'm taking the champagne glasses. So I have my tray and I'm reaching over to grab the champagne glasses and I'm putting them on my tray. And there's this one lady who's still at her table and I guess she doesn't want to get up or something, or I don't know why, but she's kind of like moving, she's dancing in her seat, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, okay. So I'm reaching for the glass, like in front of her, I'm holding it, and then she goes, ah, behind me, and I'm like, oh! So I'm like trying not to get hit by her with my fast reflexes, but then I have the tray slips, and all the glasses fall to the floor. Whoops. I mean, technically, that wasn't my fault. The lady, if she wanted to go dance, she could have went and danced on the, dance floor, okay? But nah, she decided to stay in her seat and jam out and go really crazy right when I was behind her trying to take all her champagne glasses. So then, they all drop on the floor, they all break right behind her, and I'm like, well, poop. I then pick up my tray, I get the rest of the glasses, and I head back to where, I'm supposed to be, kind of where I'm supposed to stay while they're doing, whatever. It's kind of like we just kind of stay near the wall, and we just come when we need to, if we have food or desserts or coffee, or if they, call for us, we kind of just, go over, but we just usually just stay near the wall. And at this time, I was kind of serving with this other dude who was an actual biatch. He was a total jerk. And he told me in advance that he was gonna be a jerk. And I'm like, I've had worse people I've had to work with than you. You should be fine. Nah, this guy was a total a-hole, okay? So, I don't mean to break all of them, but I broke all the glasses. I go over here, I'm like, oh, can we get a broom or something? I broke a whole bunch of glasses. He's like, why the hell did you do that? Bruh. You think I broke the glasses on purpose? I literally just want to smack him and beat the crap out of him right then and there. I told him, you think I did this on purpose? The stupid lady was dancing crazily behind me and I knocked them over. Like, I tried not to get hit by her. I'm sorry. I tried to move out of the way so my face wouldn't get smacked by her nasty ass hands. And he's like, wow, thanks for making my life harder. And I'm like, thank you for making my life harder? You're the one who's sitting your ass over here doing nothing, making me do all the work, and you're telling me that that I'm making it too hard for you? This dude was getting on my nerves. And then, so I went inside to go tell, like, my, like, manager person that they broke. And he's like, oh, no, don't worry about it. It's not your fault. That lady should have been careful of her surroundings. I'm like, thank you for understanding. Thank God for my manager actually understanding from my side of the story of what happened. So yeah, I don't think it was more of a weird experience. It was more like a pain in the ass experience that really bugged me that I still am very upset about till this day. Okay, experience number 2. So during this time, I literally just started working here. So it's literally been maybe the first week or two that I've been here. And I'm working, I'm doing whatever. And I think it's like an Italian wedding or something. And as you guys know, a lot of people think I'm Italian, Portuguese, Latino, Spanish, native, but I get a lot of Italian. So I'm doing my serving, whatnot, and there's a few, I kind of got the table of like all the old farts, if you know what I mean. All old Italian men, or like, they're like the kids and stuff. And so I'm putting like their soup down, I'm serving all their stuff, and the man taps him, he's like, excuse me, miss, but that's your cousin, or that's your brother. And I'm like, looking at like this like 5-year-old, 6-year-old boy. And I'm like, pardon? He's like, that's your brother, that, or whatever, that's your cousin. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I'm not related to this boy. He's like, yes, you are. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, sorry, sir, I don't know who they are. I'm just serving you for tonight. He's like, oh, you're so pretty, but that's your brother, that's your cousin. I'm like, I'm sorry. Okay, if that's what you think, sure. And I slowly walk away. And I'm like, I swear all these old men are so weird and creepy. Like, I couldn't tell if he was just making a joke, but that's a weird-ass joke that he's trying to make by saying that I'm related to this little child here that I don't know who the hell is. And, like, throughout that night, that old man kept pestering me, saying that was my brother or cousin. That's my brother or cousin. Why'd you say hi to your brother or cousin? I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know who he is. And I slowly walk away, and I literally just told my other partner who I'm serving with, please, can you serve him? I cannot take those people anymore. Yeah, so I love people telling me that I'm related to these random people when I'm not. Oh well, that's life. Weird experience number 1. This happened during grade 11 as well, because I only worked for like a month. But I was doing co-op at a school because I want to become a teacher. I was talking to my co-op supervisor, and she was telling me that one of the other teachers here, who was also being my co-op supervisor, was having her like wedding there. And I was like, oh damn, really? She's like, yeah, you should totally come. I'm like, come? You want me to come? She's like, oh no, well, I mean, if you can. I'm like, no, it's okay. She's like, or you can try working it. I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be interesting. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't make the schedules. So then 2 weeks go by, and I'm setting up all these things. I'm putting down these mimosas. I'm holding up these hors d'oeuvres. And who do I see? My 2 co-op supervisors. I was actually working at my co-op supervisor's wedding. Love that. Love that so much. And the best part is, my main co-op supervisor was one of my guests that I was serving at my specific table groups. So when you work at a banquet hall, each couple servers has a couple tables that they have to keep an eye on, or that's their main tables. So for example, I had tables like 1 to 3. And my co-op supervisor was at table number 2. And I kept serving her over and over again, and she's just smiling at me, and I'm like, oh my god. And then she was trying to talk to me during, like, while I was working. So I'm like, you know, you can talk to me, sure. I'm cool with that. I'm just kind of cleaning up, bringing stuff, whatever, all around. So that wasn't even the weirder part. So after the wedding part, or after like the ceremony kind of thing, we started cleaning up, and my co-op supervisors, who were kind of like the ones who planned out the banquet and the celebration and stuff like that, are still here. I guess they're talking to the manager and stuff. And my manager came up to me, and he was like, oh, 2 ladies over there are looking for you. And I'm like, who? They're like, those 2 ladies over there. And I'm like, oh, and who are they? My co-op co-op supervisors. So I walk over to them. I'm still like, I'm freaking sweaty. I'm hot as hell right now from carrying all these things back and forth, almost dying on the stairs from bringing like 7 trays of food, going down a freaking flight of stairs, holding it in my hands, and then missing a step, almost dying. Anyway, not the main point here. And they come up to me, they're like, oh my god, Sam, it's you. Hi, how are you? And I'm like, good. They're like, what do you think of the like wedding stuff? I'm like, oh, it was nice. I really liked the game and stuff like that, yada yada. So I'm conversing with them, and they're like, oh my god, Sam, you should totally take a photo with us. And I'm like, you want to take a photo with me? They're like, yeah, of course. You're here, why not? So I asked, like, I look at my manager, and he's like, yeah, just do it, just whatever. So I put down my trays and stuff like that, and we're here having like a freaking ass photo shoot in the middle of people trying to clean up, taking all their stuff, which should have been my job, but I'm over here taking photos with my co-op supervisors. People, like, literally, my coworkers are literally walking past me, and they're like, what the frick? They're looking at me like so confused at what is happening right now, because the bride or the bride-to-be at that time was taking a photo with me, and then one of her like bridesmaids friends, who was my other co-op supervisor, they were like the two, and I'm over here like my arms wrapped around them like this. We're just doing like fun photos, and they're like, okay, now we're gonna make a really ugly, silly one, and I'm like, really? So I'm like, okay, ready guys, 3, 2, 1, and I'm like, or I don't know, something like that. But we took like a whole bunch of different photos, and they're like, okay, thanks. So I'll see you on Monday, right? And I'm like, yeah, you'll see me on Monday. Okay, bye. So after like 20 to 30 minutes of talking with them and taking photos, I finally get back to work, and all like my coworkers are like, what the hell? Why'd you take photos with them? Why are you so special to them? And I'm like, co-op. And they're like, oh, and I'm like, yeah. I felt very awkward taking those photos. They seemed really fine with taking the photos. I don't understand why, but I mean, I'm always up for a good photo. And now, 2 years later, I don't know what they did with those photos. They didn't send me any of the photos. Don't know if they deleted them. Don't know if they framed them. I don't know. I just don't have them with me, and I don't know where they went. You know, they can be in the depths of hell for all I care. Okay guys, so that was it for today's video. I hope you guys had a fun time listening to my weird stories about what happened at Sky Zone at the banquet hall. There will be a part 2 coming soon. I just don't know when. But yeah, if you guys haven't so already, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Okay guys, until next time, bye!